Hello, in today's RTFSC, I wanted to look at a project called Opal. Um, Joseph actually drew my attention to this. He emailed me a link to Opal Stimulus, which is a way to, you can kind of see from the screenshot, create stimulus controllers in Ruby. And this is familiar, right? We see a stimulus controller, there's targets and all that stuff. And of course, there's some kind of transpiler underneath there that's translating Ruby into JavaScript. And so, of course, I wonder, how does that work? There's actually going to be a little less source code on this one. And I did cruise through it for a brief minute. There's a lot going on here, but I figured it's just kind of useful to know about this. So here's this project, opalrb.com, and Ruby loves JavaScript. So what is this? As we can see from the examples, we can basically write JavaScript in Ruby. I've never used this. I don't know how well it works. I'm not really familiar with the details of transpilations. But you can see here there's integrations. This is familiar document.ready, element.find. So it is a way of, I guess, writing JavaScript in Ruby. Um, there's a transpiler here, so we can learn more about the CLI. I've seen this project before, so it's not like this new fangled project. And in fact, if we look at the source, we'd probably find that it's quite old. 88 releases, 8,000 commits. Cool. I think like I wouldn't mind to see some success stories of this on the repo. Maybe the website has it. Awesome Opal, maybe. Let's check it out. Yeah, like I have no idea who used this, but there's a lot of people using it. Lots of wrappers. So it's been around. Oh, here's some live applications. Opal R&V. Cool. All right. Let's see what the blog has on it. 2023 is the last update. Did get a outstanding award. It's funny how Ruby has these factions in it, where like it wins this outstanding Ruby award, but I've barely heard of this, and I haven't like run into a lot of other people that have worked with Opal. Let's actually look at the source code there just for fun. So let's open iTerm. All right, we'll open this up in Z. Okay, so I'm gonna look for a README here. There's a lot of READMEs. Let's see the base one. That's the one that we just saw. Actually, I think I saw agents. Oops. All right, let's open up agents. I have 7 minutes. All right, this is actually quite descriptive. So let's see the directory overview. We've got lib has the compiler and CLI implementations in there. So that's probably where a lot of the crazier stuff is. Oh, I see. And then core lib, runtime, and Opal has kind of the entry into that. So the guts of this is in lib, and then Opal. Let's see what core libs. So this is probably mapping the JavaScript to the actual Ruby objects. And it looks like there is yeah, so these strings are JavaScript. What's fun? Just fun fact. If you use here docs, you can get syntax highlighting in Z. Uh, so that'd be kind of cool if these were just switched out into JS so that syntax highlighting could take over. That's useful in other areas I've found out, but just I guess know that we're mapping certain Ruby objects into JavaScript. And this is probably so that you can call methods on Ruby, and then it will transpile it into JavaScript. So that's how it works. So it looks like off the bat, there's some kind of Opal runtime that you probably have to include um, to run the output of whatever it is that's compiled. All right, let's go back into agents and see what's going on there. So that's cool. That's all right. So that's the translator, and then let's see what's inside a lib here. So tilt is actually this like adapter. Used to be in Rails, but it's not anymore. But you can say in rack use there's Jeremy Evans. He's everywhere. In rack, if you drop tilt in there, it will let you use HAML, HTML, ERB, all these kind of templating languages. So tilt Opal means that you could just throw like an Opal JS file in your views, and this thing would do the bootstrapping necessary to get the template renderer to work with whatever web framework it is that you're using. Okay, here's the compiler and everything. I can see we have an AST abstract syntax tree. That thing is actually like creating this object map of, I guess it's part of a compiler. You read the input, the string, you convert it into a tree, which is called an abstract syntax tree, and then you compile it out into something else. This is a pretty common thing to have in a parser. All right, so there's our AST and our builder. Let's actually look at some of the entry points here. Maybe we go back in agents because I want to start to figure out like how do we get from the CLI to things that are actually running. Oh, I see a lot of JavaScripts here. I don't think I'm in the right spot here, but this looks like some way of interfacing with JavaScript runtimes. It's probably handing off some of the Opal output into these JavaScripts. I have 4 minutes. Okay, let's see. We have a compiler here. So this thing is going to take some source code. And then we have compiler.rb. We're creating an instance of a compiler. So there's got to be a parser somewhere. There's parser, yeah. All right, so this thing probably just takes files and handles configuration and things like that. You can have compiler options. The parser would actually read the input. We can see the AST builder is there. The compiler would also handle probably the output options of this thing. So fragments.map code.join. So we have fragments somewhere. I wonder if that is a class. So what is a fragment? Here's fragments. I'm guessing there's chunks of code. Yeah. Yeah, so this looks like it's doing some kind of mapping between JavaScript and Ruby. All right, let's go back into the compiler. Actually, I want to go back into agents and we'll see kind of what other things we have here. With 2.5 minutes left, let's see what's in the standard lib. So it contains Opal's standard library documentation. Yeah, this looks like a lot of, wow, that's extensive. So let's open base 64. All right, so it looks like this, you have base 64, and then this is implementing that in JavaScript. And so again, this looks like it's translating between JavaScript and Ruby. Let's see, main. There was another thing that I saw that was like base Dino. You know what? Let's go back into agents and let's check out some of the examples. All right, so we kind of have an understanding of standard lib. Oops. Examples. Oh, okay, here we go. So we have a Sinatra example. So this is what a Sinatra app would look like with Opal. So we require Opal. It almost looks, I want to say Sinatra does this where you require it, and then probably when you call it def alert, this is actually building up JavaScript underneath the covers. So let's see what that looks like if you require Opal. So lib Opal, let's make sure that I'm requiring the right thing here. Yeah, all right, so Opal requires. All right, and so this is the entry point into Opal for that example. All right, let's see. There's specs in here, all that good stuff you would expect. All right, so I have like 30 seconds left. This is quite an extensive project. I am very curious if others have used it. So if you have, I guess put a link to whatever in the comments. Give this video a like if you've used this thing. I'm just really curious about this. When I see projects like this, I have tons of questions, especially a project that's been around for this long with this many stars. Very curious about this. It's very, very cool stuff.